Hi guys, my name is Akash. I'm a Ruby on Rails developer in Beddoes Institute. I've been working in, I was working on a project where we had to integrate Stripes as a payment tool, and we struggled, and we struggled a lot, so the main problem that we faced while integrating the Stripe was the gem that we wanted to use was dependent on Rails 6 and we were using Rails 5. So we had to upgrade that and had to go through a lot of trouble. So this is my experience. I consider myself a dummy. So if anyone feels like they are dummies as well, so this is for you as well. Yep. So the first question arises like why we use third party. It's because if you are creating a small project and you want someone to handle, you want something to handle a payment gateway or a bank payment, credit card payment, or any sort of payment, you you should consider third party if it is a really small project. Because do you know about PCI DSS certificate? It's one of those certificate where which is mandatory to maintain um, while you are using third-party payment, while you're using payments from the customer, and there's so many requirements to it. And when initially we decided in our project, initially we decided that maybe let's try to build a small project just which can take payments easily from credit card, and let's not try to introduce third party. And then we read into all the documentation and we figured out, no, we're not doing it. So that's why we decided that we should use third-party gem. It's very easy to integrate and it's very quick and easy. Like now I've done it once, so it feels like it's really easy, but it wasn't easy before. So now after one experience or two experience, I feel like a flash. You see that? um, yeah, so we researched on the topics and then we figured out maybe PayPal was a better option or Stripe was a better option. So we were discussing which would be the better option. So here we can see in 2017, PayPal had almost 91% share. And so we were thinking, which is the best solution? So then came Stripe. So why Stripe? It's because the best feature that I think that it's really easy, because the customer never leaves the platform. So usually in Beddoes, we have a pizza on a Friday. So we have to order a pizza and we have every time we have to order. So we have to use company PayPal account. We have to move from a pizza website, go to PayPal, log in, pay authenticate payment, and then, and then get a pizza in the end. So that's that's the experience that we gained, and we realized, okay, let's use Stripe. Maybe it's easier, but it wasn't easy initially because obviously, as I told you, the dependencies that we were not aware of, we had to struggle a lot with all the documentation. We were reading everything latest, and we were integrating in the old system, and that's where we struggle. So I'm going to make sure that by the end of this talk, you will have some experience, at least for dummies. You should be able to integrate your project with Stripe and have a payment gateway ready. So yeah, so as ever, this is my expectation was that I will integrate Stripe within a couple of hours and everything will be ready in first couple of hours as a first version in staging, but nah, it wasn't. So still, we are still trying to improve our first version after 1 week. So, or I should say, I'm still doing it because I'm one of the person who's handling this. So these are my 7 steps to integrate your Stripe. And so I'll quickly explain you how I did it. And then maybe I'll try to do the same steps in VS Code as well. So simple, add two gems, PageGem and Stripe. So PageGem is a helper gem which helps you integrate Stripe in a easier way, because Stripe documentation initially was very overwhelming for me. So I was looking for something which would help me integrate Stripe And it shouldn't be, and I shouldn't have to go all through the documentation, understanding what I'm missing, as in our first version. Then you have to bundle install. Common step after adding a gem, then you migrate. You generate a migration. So this is a helper migration generated through PageM. And then you again, you have to migrate. Obviously, when you have generated a migration, the best step to do is migrate. Then we add the pay customer model to the user. We link a connection, we create a connection between user and the PageM. Three essential environment variables which you have to fill in, and then Stripe. So you have to add a product and Stripe dashboard. So I'll quickly show you all these things that I'm saying. And then all you have to do is play around with your controller and set up your payment. Okay, so created this sample project. So this is my startup where, okay, I need to bring this down, where I'll be selling a dream jobs. In future, in a couple of years, we all know how difficult it is to be to be a software developer, or to be an astronaut, or whatever your child and whatever you want to be. And then just imagine how difficult it would be for our children. So I created this startup, and I'm gonna get a job offers from different companies, and I'm gonna sell it. And you can purchase these jobs, and you can secure these jobs for your children, and later on down the line you can just ask your children to join one of those companies that you have actually purchased a job. So let's see the jobs. So this is a sample jobs. So if you want your child to be a software developer in Google, there's a price for it. As you can already see a salary 100K. Then if you are happy that your child can be a taxi driver, and you want to get him become the or get her become a taxi driver in Uber, so salary is estimated 70K. And if you want, if you think that your child can be a creative filmmaker, TikTok, go for it. And in my demo, I've created this test job just to showcase what my project is doing right now. So if I click on pay, it says invalid job. So I must have made some mistake. So let's try to fix it. So there. So the price ID is nil. Yeah, I don't want to think about it. Let's just, so what I've done is I've added 3 routes which are essential for, this is my strategy so essential for the Stripe payment. So first one is, this is the pay button is linked with. So I want to create a post route, and I want to send some information from the button and say, look, I want to pay now. And there are 2 success routes, one success route and one failed route. So the way Stripe handles, after completing, after whatever you've done, you end up entering all the credit card details. And if it goes successful, if the payment goes successful, it will send you back to your success route. And if it wasn't successful, it will send you back in the failure route. So this is so I've created a success route where it is paid, and a failure route where it's failing. And let's integrate the Stripe with the next 7 steps. So the first step is to add a gem. So going back to my, so first step is add gem, pay, and gem Stripe. So bring my string. I can just type it. I don't have to copy it. It's just 2 lines. So gem, pay, and gem Stripe. In this project, one of the key things that I want to point out is that in order to work your solution in this particular way, you have to ensure your Rails is up more than 6.0. If it is less than that, then you'll have to find some other way to integrate this piece. So we'll just simply bundle install. So that's our first step completed. Let's go back and check. Yes, we completed the first step. Then we have next step is we can generate the migration, and we can simply say bundle exec Rails and db migrate, but it's not a db migrate. Just realized it's pay install migration. Okay. Okay, so there is this migration created. I'll quickly show you the migration. And my link is not working. It looks like my laptop is more nervous than me, so it's failing to cooperate. So this is a migration that's gets created. So you you get a table for pay customers. So every time your payment goes successful, you'll get an entry over there. Pay merchant, pay payment method. So this is an entry where you can populate to say, for example, if you want to take a bank account details as one of your payment method, so you can pre-configure the payment method and make your customer pay with the bank account. By default, it's a credit card, and then pay subscription. And so we'll go ahead and we'll just migrate. So I'll take you back to the slide. And so we have already finished 3 steps. And fourth step is just adding pay customer to user model. So what it does is it simply connects all the migrations that's been created here with your user model. Customer, yep, that's done. Let's go to the fourth next step. Fifth step is to add environment variables and add product in Stripe dashboard. So I've already added the environment variable here. Yep, please take a screenshot. I'm joking. And then, so let's go to the dashboard. So initially, the first time you log in, I'll bring your attention to this thing, test mode. Definitely do that. Click on that. Click on developers, because you want to know what powerful tool you have been given. Check your API keys from here. Get all these keys. Fill it in the environment variable. And this is the key section. So all the products that I'm selling, I can pre-configure them. So all I have to do is add products, say anything. Let's say Roro Meetup, and give description, standard pricing, one-time payment, and let's say we're gonna charge $20,000. If someone wants to join Roro Meetup in the future, we'll ask $20,000 from them. Save your product. Yep. So key thing here is that we need this thing, price ID. This is how we will know, or when we contact Stripe, we'll just give Stripe this price ID, and Stripe will know that you're paying for this product, which is this price ID, and it will charge you based on that. So I've already created the price configuration in YAML. So I've already filled Google, Uber, TikTok, their price ID, and okay. Then all I have to do in the controller, I need to create a checkout session. So checkout session is one of the way the Stripe handles the payment. Um, so let's just quickly do that. So this is the main controller where I'm handling it. So let me. So the first thing that we are going to tell us our controller is that I'm gonna set my payment processor as Stripe, because the way we are handling this project right now, we are using third-party gem, which is connecting us with the Stripe. So Pay is connecting us to Stripe. So Pay has other features as well. So it has let me see. Yeah. So if we just simply search PayGem, it offers us the ability to integrate other gems as well. Braintree, Paddle, Fake Processor. I'm not familiar with any of them. So we have set the payment processor. The next thing we are going to do is we're gonna just set the checkout session. And it's like, hey, we want you to handle this checkout session. Um, Create a checkout session where we'll give you price ID, and based on the price ID, you'll have to charge the payment. So uh, let's do it here, and we'll grab the price ID from the company. So this is how, and we'll give the price ID to the checkout session. Let me give some space. The next thing I'm gonna write here is the success URL that is needed as what happens after my payment is successful. So what I want to do is, after my payment is successful, I want to send the user in this direction. So let's say this simply. And what happens if my project, if it is failing, if it is not a successful URL? So we can simply give them cancel URL, and it's this one. I can simply redirect it to the failed path. And because there is nothing else I'm doing it, so I don't have to pass any parameters. And that's it, done. Let me comment this part for right now, and let's see what happens. I'm gonna quickly close my terminal, and I'm gonna start the something called Stripe CLI. I'm gonna start my server again. And let's see. Okay, so, and it's failed. I'm not gonna fix the bug right now, but just to, so these are the 7 steps that will 100% work for your project. Might have introduced some bug while I was tweaking between the talks, and that's it. Thank you. And before I close, I also want to point out the upgraded the GitHub repository for this project. It has all the information in there. You can check each commit and have detailed explanation how I went from that commit to the next commit. And I've added more information in the README about how I did it. And then I have this branch where everything is working. So if you want to get a reference that that you want to integrate Stripe in future, and you want to have a version where everything is working. So this is it. Yep, that's it from my side. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Akash. Thank you. That was great. That's an amazing startup idea. I think you're going to make billions.
Yeah.
Anyone has question for Akash?
I was curious. So in the charts that you presented, you had PayPal at 91.
Yep. Sorry, your voice breaking
Were
up.
there any others that you sort of considered on that long list of other competitors?
No, I didn't. I started with PayPal and I researched on it, and then I found this PayGem which integrates the other gem as well. So the first option I picked was Stripe. I was already familiar with Stripe from my bootcamp. But we used more of a JavaScript version, and that's how I was like, oh, I'm already familiar with something. Let's start with Stripe. And I researched on Stripe and found really good information. Yeah. And the best thing that when I compared Stripe with all the other products was you don't have to leave a website. And that was a really good feature for us.
That's a really good point that you brought. Yeah, then not leaving the website.
Yep. And so our company sells works with data. So we manage data, and we have a very limited customers who will come to our platform, but they're gonna be a good amount that they'll be paying to get some meaningful values out of it. So not leaving a website is one of the plus point, is that user we don't expect them to have a great technical knowledge to use websites. So just enter your credit card, pay us what you what we want, and yeah.
Simon in the chat says Stripe has a lot of config. Is there a good API ways to control it?
So Stripe has 3 or 4 scenarios where you can ask to configure your payment style. For example, subscription is one of them. And so if you want to get a subscription, so Stripe handles that thing as well. And there are a couple of other situations where you can use Stripe as in a different API Stripe. Yeah, which I don't remember now. I think so. That have I answered your questions, Simon?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions?
Yep. As I said, this is for dummies, so I don't expect a lot of people not knowing how to integrate Stripe, but you can definitely reach out to me if you have any specific questions related to checkout. Apart from the project not working right now, if you go to that branch that I've shared, it's a good working solution.
Awesome. Thanks, Akash. Thanks again.